Happy day. Welcome to the M.O.P classroom. I am Ms. Nisha M, Assistant Professor from the Department of Commerce, BCom Marketing Management. Today I am going to take you through a very interesting topic, which is Introduction to Rural Marketing. So have you ever wondered why do you have to study rural marketing? So the main reason here is India is a huge country and 70% of the population lives in rural India. Having said this, there is tremendous opportunities for organization in the corporate sector to venture into the rural market and to come up with successful rural marketing strategies to tap the market because it is upcoming and a growing market. So having said this, you need to know some of the facts of rural India. The first fact is 70% of the India's population lives in rural India, where only 30% lives in the urban area. 56% of India's income comes from rural India. 64% of India's expense comes from rural India. 33% of India's savings also comes from rural. So about 70% of India's population lives in villages and more than 800 million people live in villages of India. Go Rural is the marketer's new slogan, and Indian marketers as well as multinationals have focused on rural markets. Now, who are these Indian marketers and multinationals? For example, we have Amul, we have ITC, Colgate, Godrej, Hindustan Unilever, and so on. So the rural market has been growing steadily over the past few years and now ever bigger than the urban market. So having said this, what comes in your mind when I ask you what is rural? Maybe an image of a cow, an image of a farm, an image of a village, or grains, anything can come in your mind. But what exactly rural is? Many experts have come up with various definitions. One such definition says rural means a group of people who are traditionalists in outlook, rooted in the land, and who resist change. So rural people or rural consumers are traditional in their behavior as well as in their outlook. Land is everything for them. They are down to earth people and they do not like changes. Rural area is a geographic area which is located outside towns and cities. Another important definition which is given by NSSO, which is the National Sample Survey Organization, defines rural as an area with a population density of up to 400 per square kilometer and a minimum of 75% of male working population involved in agriculture and allied activities. Moving on to the definition of rural marketing. Rural marketing is similar or simply marketing. The only difference here is in terms of the buyers. Target market consists of customers living in rural areas. So rural marketing is nothing but an application of marketing fundamentals, which is the concepts, principles, processes, theories, etc. to rural markets. Another important definition of rural marketing is the process of developing, pricing, promoting and distributing rural specific goods and services, leading to consumer satisfaction and achievement of organizational objectives. It aims to improve standard of living of rural consumers by providing them greater awareness and accessibility to new products and services. So now in rural marketing, what do? We develop a product, we price it as per the rural market, we promote it in their particular ways and distribute rural specific goods and services. This does not mean that the goods and services are completely different from urban, but they are just tailored and altered to the needs and wants of the rural consumers. Rural marketing is also a two-way process, which is urban to rural, rural to urban and rural to rural. So this includes urban to rural transaction, which means urban marketers sell their products to the rural market. For example, they sell products like FMCG goods, consumer durables, bicycles and so on. Rural to urban is nothing but the transactions include rural producers where they sell their products to the urban market. For example, we can mention rice, wheat, fruits and vegetables, handicrafts and so on. Whereas rural to rural is nothing but village to village transaction happens. For example, we can quote handicrafts, bullock carts and so on. So let us look into the features of rural marketing. The first important feature of rural marketing is large and scattered market. So India, as I told you earlier, 70% of the population lives in rural India. So the market is large and 70% of the population are scattered across 6 lakh villages. The second one is higher purchasing capacity. So today if you see, rural consumers have higher purchasing capacity, and the rural marketers have understood the potential of the rural market, and they have started moving on their operations to the rural market. The third important feature is market growth. So there is tremendous growth in the rural market. The rural market is steadily growing over the few years. There is a demand for traditional products. To name some of the traditional products, we have bicycles, agricultural inputs, soaps, FMCG products, consumer durables like television, washing machine, refrigerators, and so on. The fourth important feature is development of infrastructure. So there is a development of infrastructural facilities in the rural areas, such as construction of roads, transportation, communication network, public service projects in rural India, which has increased the scope of rural marketing. The next important feature is low standard of living. The standard of living of rural consumers is low, but rural consumers have started adapting to urban lifestyle. The next feature is traditional outlook. The rural consumers are traditional in their outlook as well as in their behavior, but they have started demanding for branded products in the recent times. The next feature is marketing mix. So the urban products cannot be just dumped into the rural market. So rural specific goods and services need to be tailored for the rural consumers. For example, if you see, Godrej has come up with an exclusive product which is called as the Godrej Chotukool. The last feature of rural marketing is increased government initiatives. The government has come up with various initiatives for the rural consumers. The government has come up with various schemes for the rural consumers. One such scheme is Kisan Credit Card, which helps the farmers to take loans for fertilizers, seeds, and so on. And the government has also come up with another important initiative for the rural consumers, which is called as the TriSim, which is nothing but training rural youth for self-employment. This has created new employment opportunities in rural India. To summarize, rural markets are markets of tomorrow. Rural marketing is a booming sector with plenty of job opportunities for you young students. So with your tech-savvy minds, the young generation can contribute to the development of agriculture, healthcare, education, transportation, and infrastructure. Thank you. Stay tuned for the next upcoming video on rural marketing. Thank you. Happy learning.